Just gonna double check our audio is all good before we get going. Alright then, hello everybody, welcome to BRL Season 12, Round 5 here in Silverstone here, but we are backwards this time round. Actually, there's just one thing I need to fix here. Apparently it's a wet start to this race, just very quickly communicated to us by one of our drivers. See to really quickly sort something out though, just before we get fully going here. Just 1 minute here while I quickly pause the broadcast. Shouldn't be too long, just be back in a second. Right, and we should be all back and ready to go here. There's apparently a 90% chance of rain at the start of the race. Just one more thing we're going to do here. We're going to turn down this audio. This was very loud for me, so I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit. I should just time it away just before we get here to the very first lap. Let's go to 5. Should be all right for me. Anyway, though, we are going to be on board here. Let's have a quick look. I believe will be the Aston Martin first of Rucho Capo. You'll see one or two new faces here. Bluebird, probably the main one here, making, well, probably a bit of a comeback, I guess. But has raced here before. It's just definitely a few years since he did the last race. Microwave up here as well. Another person to be sort of making a little bit of a comeback here. But other than that, grid remains mostly the same. Unfortunately, quite a few full-time drivers could not make it today. But nothing too bad there. However, what is very important to note is the full-time drivers that are not here today are very, very big names. We have Rio Harris, championship leader, not here today. Rashid Meals, P2 in the championship here, in the McLaren, not here today. Wisburn is here, who could capitalise on this and maybe take the lead of constructors, drivers championship, sorry. But Rosie is also here today, P4 in the championship. He moved over P5, he is not either. So Henson's got a chance to capitalise on that one too, as the skills down behind him. So obviously that's top 7 in the championship, pretty much rounded out there already. However, at the minute we're going to see what is most likely some incredible shifts in the Constructors' Championship. Alpine currently lead by 9 points, but neither of their drivers are here today. I think they're the only team which have not showed up to Silverstone with us in this race. Racing Bulls do have 2 drivers here, but B French and Budget Bruce definitely a lot less experienced than most people on this grid, so they might be able to pull out a few points running this race. However, it will be quite unlikely for them to do it. Anyway though, Williams will be the next team, but will be a sole carrier here from Wisburn, who will probably be very hungry to pick up some points. So hopefully he will try and take the lead of the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championship for his sake and his team's sake. McLaren too, also skills down at the helm, but Microwave is there to try and back him up here. So maybe they can get just a good result with Williams there, and maybe, just maybe, they can leapfrog them in the Constructors, even if they can't take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Haas as well, another team. Obviously, they were pretty high up for the first few rounds, but last round at Spa they fell from 1st to 5th. But on count back, they're only about 3. Yeah, they're only a point behind Williams at the minute, who are in 3rd, and only 5 points behind Racing Bulls in 2nd. So realistically, they have a pretty big chance, if they score some decent points, to at least get up to a P2 spot here. I believe they can do it. But Anyway, we just were on a board with Mucha Kappa for that whole lap, but we've also had other people going. Still Bluebird there, just setting a quick slap as we were on board with him. Budget Bruce, though, looking pretty decent there so far. I did write him off a little bit, but he's not doing too bad. Exotic Swords goes just ahead of Bluebird into P1. I was going to try and actually follow someone on their actual outlap here, but right now I'll probably watch Rose once he comes round. Blackburn is not on a lap here at the minute. Let's see who else is on a lap. Our Henson is. I believe he's the only person on our lap. Yeah, Microwave just started his, so not too many worries there. Blackburn is also going to be on a lap in a second. I'm going to watch. I'll probably watch Rose. I believe he'll be behind our Henson. So, we're watching for a track guys. Our Henson's a big snap all over to there. Not sure why that snap probably got the power a bit too early there. However, the main thing for him is that he needs good qualifying here and a good race. I mean, both him and Hazard do, but yeah, at the minute it's not too bright for him. Didn't have many points in Belgium last time out, so they will definitely be wanting to try and come back to it this race. Also, if there is actually any issue with the stream, I'm really sorry, but I don't really know how much else I can do about that. But anyway, though, our Henson and Hazard not doing too bad at the minute. I mean, at least they're third and fifth. Obviously, we're half the grid still to set laps, but they'll be going in a minute to do their laps. We'll see where the Hasses fall by the end of it. But now, we're going to turn our attention to Rose and the first actual commentary lap of this race. Obviously, down Hamilton Straight, if I'm going to go reverse here, turn 1 and turn 2. Veil comes at you quickly here, you got to make sure you flick it right. Lovely stuff there from Rose, looking pretty good. Now we go backwards, round Stowe. On the left here, you're probably still going about 140, yeah, he is just under 140 miles an hour as we go through it. And the DRS straight down towards Stowe is now the DRS straight down towards Beckett's and Maggots. We're going the wrong way around here, however, for this race. Obviously, is the correct way around. Looking pretty nicely done there. Lying split of curb too, make sure the car isn't too unsettled. Definitely don't want to hit that sausage curb there, what Rose just went past. That is a death sentence on this track. But now he holds in 7th gear because he knows Cops is flat if you just take it in 7th gear. No matter where on this track or how you take it, it is going to be flat most of the time. We're now going to go through here into Luffield, I believe this is. And then round to Brooklands on the right now. Got to be careful to apply power here. We saw Henson have a bit of a snap, and he has done it pretty nicely. 101.8 from middle sector. I believe Rose is to be the outright contender for pole here, and it'll be pretty obvious to see why in a minute. Looking pretty nice here. Go over a bit of a lazy section though, once it's now reverse. Obviously, pretty hard to do now. Now you've got less speed, but anyway, it's now flatter for the rest of the lap. Definitely I like what it is for the final chicane. Let's see it now across the line for Rose. Yeah, crazy stuff. A second clear of the field. So you'll definitely see the pace between the top 5 drivers in the championship and then everybody else, because obviously you've seen him pretty much take up the top 5 spots every race so far. Wisman also trying to do the same there, trying to show his pace. But yeah, at the minute, I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah, Exotic just give this guy the win. It's pretty clear who is some of the fast drivers in this league, and yeah, obviously with them being this high up in the championship, it is completely expected, really. Whisper, no, will probably be his only true challenger, unless other people pick it up. I mean, Exotic and Bluebird look okay out there, probably a few tenths ahead of the rest of the field so far. Whisper, no, apparently, with a green, not purple, sorry, in the middle sector. I'm not sure if that's true. Microwave, though, retires from a session there. But we'll see it now. Whisper looking a bit tentative there, going into that turn. So let's see now as we go throughout the rest of this lap. Let's see what his time's going to be. Is he going to be able to at least beat Exotic? Well, he's not going to be beating anybody here in a minute as he comes into the pits. P16 right now, so obviously he's going to need to improve. Skills down also had an issue there. I believe he might span, actually, maybe coming out of that corner. Anyway, let's go watch Hazard now, who I believe is one of the people on the lap as well here. Yeah, it looks like he just started a lap. The Aston there on the left, I believe, of Exotic Swords, yeah, just coming out there, making sure he's all good, and he is all fine there. Hazard though, going into 5th here through Stowe backwards, almost said Copsen, Jesus Christ. Yeah, definitely 5th or 6th through Stowe is the ideal gear in a minute, but let's see what Hazard does. Once again, apparently it's purple sector 1, but even if it's not, it's 2 tenths up on his time. He's not looking too bad in a minute, actually, Hazard here. Obviously up in P5. And that is with a lot of these people actually setting laps. So Hazard really not doing too bad right now. As I believe there was Kodoy there up into a P8 spot. Budget Bruce actually as well. Another person not doing too bad at all in a minute. I did not think he'd be that far ahead. But yeah, right now, P6 for him in the V car, doing pretty well, taking over D-Move's seat. and we'll see Hazard here through Brooklands now. Let's see what he does. Cole Pillow up into P5. He's got a pretty good lap there as well in the Ferrari. Hazard 4 tenths up though. This can actually maybe put him on the second row here if he's actually able to keep that sort of momentum going into the final corner. Let's see it now. Looking pretty nice. Hits Apex pretty well. Second up to third. Ooh, bit tensive of what gears are though. Definitely thinking between second and third there. However, to the line he is going to run. Let's see what he's going to do actually. Across the line. It's looking like a pretty decent lap here from Hazard. Across the line he goes. Up to P5. Not too bad from actually, considering his qualifying has been pretty so-so in this season so far. But not too bad for him. Bluebird a few tenths down there as well. 1.5 tenths already. So he'll definitely go and need to try and improve. Exotic also with a bit of an issue there on his lap. He might actually try and back out of this one. I mean, I'd definitely suggest so. But he might not. Yeah, quite wide there as well on the gravel. Wouldn't suggest him to go and improve. Bluebird is improving, but only on the sectors here. At the minute, his overall time is not looking too great. We'll see though as it comes around the final few corners if he actually decides to finish the lap or not. Let's see, because realistically any small improvement here will put him ahead of Exotic Swords. Let's see what he does. We're going to see him come across the line now. What is the time going to be? He does not improve at the end of things. Exotic's 4 tenths down. He will not be improving at the minute. Cole Pillar also looks like he's not improving. Budget Bruce looks like he's about to finish the laps. Let's see where he goes. Looked a little bit messy around those final few corners there before he goes absolutely flat out to the line. Let's see it. Did he lose time there? He did not. He actually was 3 tenths up on the end of things. Goes up to P6. Hence also needs something to change here. He's 5 tenths up at the minute. This could be a great qualifying for Hazard and Henson actually. Then keep this up. 9.5 tenths up here. So Henson is actually looking for... What is that? Looks like a P4 at the minute. Obviously could be improving a little bit further. Maybe trying to challenge the top 3 here, actually. Let's have a quick look. It look a bit unsteady there through the last few corners once again. Obviously, I don't really actually know what the corner names are there, but you'll get what I mean by the last few corners. Let's see. Across the line, he goes up to 4th. So nice off from Hazard there. He did actually lose a few tenths in the final sector. So he definitely's got a chance, actually, to challenge these guys at the top. We'll wait and see if that is going to be true, though, once he actually keeps setting laps. Josh here also trying his best to improve, I think, as well, unless he's just not using battery. He might actually already set a lap, I'm not too sure. Anyway, look, B French trying to improve down the back of the field. Skills down, actually, his person needs to improve. Wisburn also someone who needs to go and get a hurry on here. He's going to get a lovely slipstream here from this Merc. Intentional or not, the Merc then quickly backs off there of Josh. But Wisburn not looking like he's doing too bad there right now. I'm not sure if anyone else can improve at the minute, but we'll keep an eye on people crossing the line. B French comes across to a P13, gets ahead of Microwave there. Wisburn looking like he's on top middle sector. Definitely did have a toe though, so we'll definitely see how that goes by the end of this one. Let's see it. Looking pretty nice. Bit of a lock up on the front though, so he's definitely missed that apex. Will he try and hit this one as well? He goes a little bit wide, but I think that's sort of what you want to do here. Looking pretty good from Wisburn. He definitely wants to have this challenge the first row. Let's see it across the line. Only 4th. It's not the first row from Wisburn. I've really been expecting him to be pretty up there with everybody else, but no, he is down a little bit there. Blackbone also 9 tenths up. He wants to try and get up to the front row of the field, but will he suffer the same fate as Wisburn there, having a bit of an awful last sector? Hits the apex pretty nicely there, I'd say. Just wide a little bit though. Hits apex again pretty nice. Looking good. Blackburn actually had a much neater sector there, but was it faster? I see it come across the line in a second. Let's see it now. What is the time? It's P4. So it is ahead of Wisburn, but obviously once again, yeah, not on them front, not on the front row there, or not in the top 3 spots. So kind of interesting to think about here. Definitely would have thought at least one of them two would have been able to go and do it, but at the minute we've got a bit of a calm bit here as Blackbone has decided to go a bit of a lawn mowing there. Not too sure why. But yeah, a little bit of a lull here in qualifying right now. Skittles down on the valid lap. Josh also not really looking like he's going to improve too much here. He's 2.5 tenths down, but I don't believe with down my battery left and his fuel light literally blinking here. So I believe he's on low fuel mode. Let's have a look. Yeah, 5 tenths down. I don't think he's going to improve. But got a bit of a lull here. So yeah, not doing too bad. But we're going to quickly run through the provisional grid here as we're looking at it. Rose up in first, pretty obviously by a second at this point. Obviously, without any of the new guys here, or any of the faster guys here, it's P2 is pretty good actually. He hasn't had crazy qualifying form this whole season, but that is a pretty damn good lap. Bluebird also on his return in P3 currently, looking pretty nice. He's only a couple tenths, or a couple hundredths away actually from P2. Aiden was on the session there. Let's see if we can quickly get him back added in. Not yet. No, we can't. Anyway, though, Blackbone P4. Once again, pretty decent qualifying as well. Looks like he's carrying on from Spa's performance. Looks like he's doing pretty decent. Wisburn P5, definitely a bit of an improvement there in the Williams. Henson P6, Aiden P7 has a P8. Good qualifying to all them right now. Bunch of Bruce well, actually having a really nice qualifying session so far. Mucho Capo, Colpo actually. Doing okay at the minute, but you'll definitely need another lap in. Skills Dan needs an improvement desperately. Kodo also actually quite like an improvement there. His qualifying is usually better than this. Mucho Capo trying to find an improvement at the minute. Josh and B French there, and Microwave also last at the minute. Trying to see if we can get Aiden in last minute. Oh, he's back in. We're all good. Never mind. Someone's managed to get it for him, so whoever did that, thank you very, very much. Anyway, though, very few people out on laps here at the minute. Hazard, I mean, obviously on an out lap here, but this is where you probably should expect all the people coming out. So Hazard may have actually pulled a bit of a blinder here. If he can actually manage to get everybody out of the way on the track rather than out of the way once they're on their out laps. Let's have a look here. I believe that was a Aston across the line there. Mucho Capo, I think, is actually starting his last lap here. But we'll have a quick look. Where everybody filters out, in comparison to Hazard here, Blackburn hit the barrier because he missed the pit entry. Wow. How is this man fourth on our grid? I do not know. However, he is fourth anyway. We'll just have to wait and see what everybody else does here. But they have to get out quick here at the minute. I mean, I think that is the latest person out. That is a Red Bull, I believe, of Kodoy or Bluebird, one of the two. But everyone else got to get out quick, because otherwise they're not going to make the second flag here. As they'll definitely have to push in their out lap. And I think that is Cold Pillow and McLaren, I believe? Oh no, that'll probably be Microwave actually. So Cold Pillow will probably not get a lap in time by the end of things. Anyway, we'll quickly focus away from Hazard here as we go to Mucho Capo. He is slow. He's not going to do any more improvements here. Cold Pillow retires from session. He knows he can't get out anymore. Let's see what Hazard does here. There's a bit of a hold up there in the second sector, but it should be all fine for Hazard. 10.5 up at the minute. Let's see where the rest of the lap takes him. He needs to realistically gain up 4 tenths here if he wants any chance at making more positions up here, or at least being safe from the people behind. However, look how he's doing that pretty decently right now. Looking good through Cops. Really actually needed a shift down to a 7th there, as he was going in 8th gear. So looking pretty nice on speed throughout all of these straights. Let's see where he goes now into these next few corners. Looking pretty nice there. Through Luffield and Brooklands. Let's have a look now. What is the time? 5.5 tenths up. He's in a nice little slipstream of his teammate here as well. With our Henson, Hazard can get a really good lap in here. Let's have a look as he goes round this final sector. He seems to hook it up decently, and he has got a really good lap on his hands now. Let's have a look as he goes round these final few corners. Where is this lap gonna put Hazard? Let's see it. As he's going to use his battery to the line. A little bit missing the apex there, but it doesn't get matters to him. Onto the front row for Hazard at the minute. Everyone else got to do their laps, obviously, but that is a crazy lap there from Hazard. Exotic a 10.5 down. Bluebird starting his lap as well. Let's see where Exotic goes. At the minute, it looked like someone crossed the line there. I don't know who it was. However, Exotic, 3.5 tenths down. He's not going to improve. Wisburn and Blackbird also on laps. Our heads are starting his too. Aiden also starting his. Everyone is absolutely clustered in these first few sectors. Kodoy's invalidated. He's not going to go any quicker. Mucho Capo behind is trying to go quicker. Josh is trying to go quicker. But apparently, yeah, he is definitely not in this qualifying session anymore. B French is 3 tenths up at the minute, who is actually first round. I believe it is Rose or an Aston Martin of Mucho Capo. Let's see, is he improving at all? 5.5 tenths up. I'm going to definitely swap to Rose here as he's going even quicker behind at the minute. What about Bluebird? He's 2 tenths up, but he's got McLaren right in front of him of Skills Dan, I believe, who is also on his own lap. So Bluebird, it might be getting held up a little bit from him. Anyway, though, Skills down a few tenths up. Bluebird a few tenths up. Let's see who is going to grab what position here. We know where Rose's going to go, but he's going to back off of his lap. He's not going any quicker. Bluebird, he's still getting held up a bit by Skills down here, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens when he crosses the line. B French comes across the line here. Will he improve on that last position? He does not. Rose gets disqualified. What is going on? I don't know. He might have done it on purpose. Bluebird to the line. What's he going to do? He's up to P2 at the minute. Who else is where? Exotic goes P3. Blackburn across the line. Where's he going to go? He's going to go fourth. Oh, Henson goes onto the front row. Who is next? Wisburn and Aiden. Where's Wisburn going? Where is he? He's only third. Where is Aiden? And, oh my goodness me, where's Aiden Skillsound? Skillsound's only 8th. This is ridiculous. Crazy end to that qualifying session with Rose disqualified. I don't know if he's done that on purpose or not. Trying to make it a bit fun for himself. But at the minute, it's... Well, this is your grid, yeah, because Aiden has finished his lap, basically. It's Bluebird on pole. Henson alongside. Wisburn P3. Hazard in P4. Haas have somehow turned round their qualifying form completely. From probably qualifying outside top 10 in most races now, and they're 2nd and 4th on the grid. Bluebird on pole obviously was a big outlier actually, not race here for a while, but he is P1. Wisburn also in P3, so he's going to do alright. That is crazy. Crazy stuff. Yeah, ridiculous. We'll run through the grid just once more. Once again, I don't know if Rose has actually done that on purpose at this qualification, trying to make it fun. However, Bluebird on pole on his return back to BRL. Henson P2 in a Haas, probably his best chance at a win for a long time. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. Wisburn P3, Hazard P4, big shout out to him as well. Exotic P5, Blackburn P6, Aiden P7, Skills Down P8, Mucho Kappa P9, Budget Bruce P10, Just Called Pillar P11, Kodai P12 on medium tyres. Interesting, saving some stops for the race. Josh P13, B French P14, Microwave P15, and Rose probably just trying to round out the grid here with a DSQ. I don't know what has just happened, but that is a mental qualifying session. I don't know what to say. Crazy stuff. Oh, and it is wet here at Silverstone. This is some rain. Let's see what the race director is saying. Full wet for everybody here. This is going to be the start of dreams. Hopefully, this is going to be a great one to watch at the end of it. Let's see, though. It only said rain for the start of the race, though, according to our Henson. And will anyone actually be idiots in this weather? Obviously, full wets are going to be the move for most people. But you got to think about it. Also, Pablo's actually there, has joined last minute. He might not have a setup on, but he is there. And yeah, we do have an intermediate runner there, Cold Pillow. Our Henson, I believe, actually picked the intermediate there too. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe you can get away with an intermediate tyre here, because of the full wet is going to be able to grip up after a few laps. We'll just see where everybody else ends up now. 5 red lights on. And we are underway for Silverstone Reverse. Looks like Bluebird there got a lively start, but our Henson has as well. Looks like Exotic Swords is dropping back a little bit, but that's a lovely start from Blackbone. Let's see, he's getting all crossed up here with Hazard, but let's see now, will he be able to outbrake him into turn 2? Looks like Blackbone has only just got ahead. Hazard really trying his best to hold on there, but it looks like he's not really able to. Aiden behind there trying to get ahead as well. Bluebird's held the lead for now. Our Henson and Wisburn right next to 2, but looks like Hazard here looking bit bad here off the start, but he's going to still try and get here Blackbone in the Sauber. Blackbone really squeezing him here as Budget Bruce is round at the back. We're going to see now Hazard on Blackbone here. Looks like Blackbone's just managed to go that bit wider, but has he gone too wide here? Looks pretty bad. He has gone too wide. Hazard goes through. Let's see, where's his teammate Aiden? He is not there at the minute. Hazard, well, his teammate our Henson has just managed to take the lead there. Looked like a massive squeeze from Bluebird, but our Henson up into the lead now as Bluebird goes a bit wide there. Looking like he's hit the grass, but he is all good. Exotic Pass, Mucho Capo, who's actually hit the DRS board there. There's bits flying all over the track, and it's absolute chaos in the midfield. But let's look at this now. Cold Pillow on the inside of Josh, looking lovely stuff here so far. And that's an even wider Sauber again of Blackbone. I don't know what's happened, if he's got damage or anything, but he is struggling so far. Obviously passed by his teammate Aiden, and passed by Hazard a little bit earlier on as well. But he's only just managed to fend off Skills down there, and Exotic Swords is trying to get on the inside of him there as well. But this is definitely not a corner for overtaking in a minute. He's going to try his best to get close anyway, but I don't think it's going to happen here. However, what is interesting to note, look at the tyres. People on the intermediates are looking like they're making moves here. And look at that, Wisburn only just having to back off there as Bluebird on the wet tyre here. Looks like he's struggling for grip a little bit as our Henson on the intermediates goes through. Wisburn now through on Bluebird. But the thing is, most people actually are on these intermediate tyres. Obviously, Skills down trying to make up some moves there. That's an inside move four exotic swords and Cold Pillow there. Let's see it. Cold Pillow further on the inside. There's a bit of a tag. Cold Pillow cuts over the curve there, but it looks like everything's okay. It looks to be intermediates. Despite the wets being selected, it's probably borderline here. But I think the wets just are too slow with the amount of grip with the amount of rubber that they have on them. The intermediates may not clear much water, but they will just simply be faster at the minute, and they will only continue to get faster if the track is eventually to dry up. Anyway, though, our Henson is currently leading here by 2 seconds to Whisper. Bluebird still sticking with the top three at the minute, but that gap will probably only get higher and higher, as I don't believe the wets are quick enough at the minute. Anyway, though, Rose immediately past Blackbone. Blackbone is just struggling on them wets, trying to hang around the outside of Cox. He just doesn't have grip that the intermediate tyres apparently have there. And that was a big snap there for Exotic. He's struggling on the wets too. Let's see Cold Pillar now round the outside. That was very brave how he's not managed to take his car into the wall there. But Rose behind his teammate, he's going to be trying to wait in the wing of his teammate, see if anything's going to happen now. And there's even further bits of moves here coming along at the minute, as Hassel is dropping quite a bit back here from the top three. Let's see what he does now, as just Cold Pillar and Rose are having a bit of a nice fight there. However, very committed there from Aiden, as Hazard just trying to make the corner at this rate on these wet tyres. It's pretty hard, but maybe it's actually a bit tactical here from Haas. Maybe Hazard could try and hold up the field here and just see if they can have our Henson, who is out in front currently doing a great job. Well, let's see. No, Hazard comes into the pits. Hazard into the pits. He knows it's a wrong decision, but that is a very early stop there off the wet tyres. Pretty interesting. I would have thought they might try doing a bit of interesting stuff with some tactics. However, Skills Dan has already cleared the wet runner of Aiden, and Cold Pillar and Rose are going to be doing the same thing soon. And you can clearly tell it is wet tyres that are not, well, they're definitely not the tyre to be on here. Look at this top 7. 5 of the 7 drivers are on intermediates, and everyone behind here on some wets. Cold Pillar, though, past Aiden. Rose past Aiden. It is intermediates here, and people have got it wrong. However, Aiden's still trying to do some sort of move here. Rose around the outside of Cold Pillar here. Cold Pillar can't find any grip. Rose just sends it around the outside. Brilliant move there from the Ferrari man, and he's already up to P5 by lap 3. He is a danger to everyone in this race, apparently, because he's just so quick. Doesn't matter, he got disqualified in qualifying, but obviously he's got to make sure he keeps on the track there. That was pretty bad from him. We're going to see now Cold Pillow really able to try to make a move here on his teammate. I don't think he's going to be committed enough to do that, though. Exotic's committed enough to send it on Aiden, though, and the Kick Saubers, they're pretty decent qualifying, 8th and 9th at the minute. I think there was only, a few positions dropped by Blackbone, essentially. However, it's looking pretty bad here. It's still some wheel spin there. But I think Hazard here, he is trying his best to see if he can just gain that much more time on some fresh intermediates here than the people on the wets. Obviously, these guys are going to be fighting like crazy. That's Kodai on Blackbone as well up ahead that we just saw there. And he is through. Bluebird's dropped a little bit more to the guys out in front. Our Henson with fastest lap, quickly replaced by Whisburn. Probably going to be replaced by Rose in a minute because he was making moves on that lap. Let's see. 44-6, 44-2, 44-6 for Rose. So Skills down in a minute. Fastest driver out on track, but he is a little bit further back. Exotic is somehow disqualified for cutting the pit lane. No idea how. I've got no idea what's happened. Maybe trying to... I literally have no idea what happened, but Exotic is gone. I couldn't even tell you how. However, though, this is what Hazard was probably thinking now. Everyone's making the switch to intermediate slower down the field. Hazard is going to get by all of them, and by some margin here, it looks like. Everyone's going to come out the pits. And it looks like, Aiden was getting a bit held up there. Who was the first person out of the pits? It's Aiden, actually. No, Blackbone, actually, was the one going to come out the pits. But look, Hazard, already through. He's going to climb up towards Stowe. These guys are only just going to put the power down these intermediate tyres. Hazard is well ahead of these guys on the wets. So if any of them try and box now, it's just no hope. I mean, they're going to be right behind all these guys who probably just pitted as well. Look at that. 4 seconds behind them a minute. He was right with them for a lap or two, decided to box, and these guys now following him in, and it's just too late for them at the minute. Hazard just made the most of his outlap on the intermediates and has just clawed back a lot of the time he would have lost on them wet tyres. However, I definitely was with these guys here. If it was wet at the start of the race, you would definitely want to choose intermediates, especially if it's going to dry up at some point. And you can tell here, look, Bluebird losing even more time to the guys out in front. Skill stand catching, look, Bluebird wide as well on the wet, so I think he might try and hold it now until the dry period here. But look, he's sliding around everywhere. I'd probably suggest pitting here at this point. Let's see if he's gonna. It looks like he's going to. Yep, Bluebird into the pits. Now, the most telling thing here, he's got to make sure he slows down, actually. Most telling thing here, where is Hazard in all of this? If Bluebird is a lot closer to Hazard than, you know, Bluebird is a lot closer to Hazard than he would like, then this would be very bad for Bluebird. Anyway, though, Exotic apparently got the score 5 for no reason. Not sure what happened, but he is out of this race. I think everyone here is actually going to pit off the wet tyres now, other than Budget Bruce. He stays out. Josh actually also pits with another set of wets, so I think he made a mistake with his strategy there. Unfortunately, did not pick the right tyres at the end. However, it looks like Hazard here is going to be, well, it'll be pretty close actually on exit here. Bluebird can't get the power down. Let's see. Looks like Bluebird is to get ahead by the end of things, but I think he had about a 5-second gap to Hazard anyway. It's probably kept about the same, which I'd say makes sense here. And yeah, look, it's definitely intermediate tyres now. Budget Bruce, I think, is just sort of holding on for dear life here. Seeing how quick it dries up, might as well just keep on them wet tyres and see if he can get anything done in these higher spots. But right now, wow, okay, never mind. I was going to say right now, we're going to look to the front of the field, but I wasn't thinking here. Rose already up into the podium places past Skills Dan. I know he's quick. I know he is. But by the end of lap 5, he should not have gone from last up to here already. But yeah, this is a fight I was going to focus on here. Our Henson's gap of a second and a half, which wasn't there a few laps ago, is gone now. And our Henson has got Wisworth for company here. The good news is that without DRS, it's pretty hard to overtake here round this track, as long as you're on the same set of tyres, the same set of laps. Obviously, we saw Rose climb up a lot of places in the field, but so did quite a few of the intermediate runners there, as they were on the right tyre at the right time. But, yeah, they're going to need just some more pace in here. You need a lot more pace than you need, actually. He's showing that, though. Fast lap for him, and he's gaining pretty much every corner at the minute. Wisburn trying his best to get any sort of move done on our Henson, but he's not able to at the minute. Our Henson's actually getting the most battery out of these top 2 at the minute. Budget Bruce into the pit lane now. Hazard, the gamble for wets to start obviously didn't work off, but realistically, he's only lost ground to the people who actually started on the intermediates here. So I think for Hazard, even though it was the wrong strategy choice initially, he's done pretty well to keep back into P7 here at the minute. He's got 7 seconds to Bluebird, but he's got about 20 seconds to the guys out in front at the minute. It looks like Bluebird's sliding around a bit at the minute, trying his best to get some grip on this racetrack. But yeah, incredible strategy from these guys. And I think the person we've got to point out here, Cole Pillow. Amazing strategy, I think. At least I think the person who is most impressed with the strategy. Skills Dan, Rose, I believe they probably would have done it. Hence, I feel like would have taken the risk as well. Even if he was on the front row, I think he definitely would have, definitely would have fought by that. Especially on the front row, he was on like, you know what, we'll try something different, and he has done so. Wisman as well, definitely would have done that. Rose as well. He was last on the grid after this qualification. He would have tried it, but yeah, Cole Pillow didn't expect him to do it, but he has done it pretty damn well. Bluebird off pole, obviously picked the right tyre from what the game thought, but the wrong tyre in the end of it, and he's 18 seconds back now. Realistically, not through much fault of his own. It's just a game realistically telling people, look, it's the wets. Hazard got caught out by it, Aiden got caught out by it. Literally everyone from P6 downwards did get caught out by it, which is a bit of a shame. However, the guys took the risk and they were able to do it. I said it as well. I think it was intermediate weather. Anyway, though, Kodoy will just sneak ahead there of Aiden. I mean, even if it actually didn't look like wet weather, yeah, it would have been pretty easy to go and say if it's going to start raining at the start of this race and will dry out quick. Intermediates are the call. It does not matter if it says it's wet. If it is going to dry out by wind race, especially around this track has got the second longest pit stop in Formula 1, I believe. I think it is 28 or 29 seconds in comparison to the longest one, which is Silverstone's 30. I think the shortest, I want to say, is Spa with about 17 or 18 seconds, but I might be completely wrong there. I do not know. Anyway, though, yeah, pretty easy to say this is going to come with intermediates in no time flat, and the guys ahead have called it pretty well. But right now, our Henson still holding on ahead of Wisman at the minute, but Rose clawing back some time here. Skills Dan dropping away from him. Cole Pillow as well. Maybe just get a little bit of time to Bluebird, but he's got such a big gap at the minute that Bluebird, isn't too much of a threat in a minute. to him. Hazard also losing time to Blueberry just a little bit from when we last saw him. But he's giving you a nice gap here to Kodoy for now. Aiden also dropping back a little bit too, pretty interestingly, as Mucho Capo is catching him. Blackbone 2 catching Mucho Capo. And something Mucho Capo actually had a little bit of a wide moment there. Let's see, Blackbone, he turns on the battery. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to send it to the inside. He's going to try his best on the inside here for the kick salver, and he's going to take it there. Rose with the fast slap once again. So he is definitely trying to make some sort of statement here. Look at the fastest lap differences here right now. He is on a 41.0. Everybody else, 41.9, 42.4. There are big disparities in the fastest laps here in a minute. But obviously, though, there's still people here fighting for points, obviously. Even with these guys, B French, Wedge Bruce, they may not have the fastest laps here. However, they are really doing their damn best to get any points in this race. Pablos as well, actually. I think he's on default setup, so he's trying his best to get any points here. But chose longer strategy initially, and now is having to deal with a default setup, which is pretty damn bad in the rain. So, yeah, unfortunate for him, but he's still going to try and get any points he can for the Mercedes team and for himself. As everybody else is sort of just racing around here at the minute, not doing too much. There's not many moves going on for now, as actually saw their skill stand. Doing a bit of lawn mowing, cut onto him in a pretty decent time there. But right now, look at Henson's sweeping about there. But no, he's sort of skating about actually here. Looking for a few wet parts of the track actually as well, which is kind of interesting. If the intermediates are already overheating in this weather, then, I mean, it's going to spell some interesting stuff for the rest of this race. I mean, if they're overheating now, it gives you some thoughts that they actually... Oh, Aiden, Span at the exit of Beckett's, I believe, or the other exit of Beckett's. It'll be entry to Beckett's on the right way round. But Kick Sauber not having a great time, and it's got worse with Aiden's spin there. But yeah, you do sort of think about it though. If you're believing that, yeah, look, Rose can see fast slaps it, but if you're going to the wet patches of the racetrack here, it's pretty interesting to think about. I mean, obviously, it is still wet. You're not thinking about putting dry tyres on in this weather. However, if you are cooling your tyres, it's probably going to mean that at some point during this race, yeah, look, our Henson's still trying to find that wet part of the track. It doesn't matter where the racing line is going. The racing line is a drying part of the track there. You can see it on the screen. Obviously, you won't go for it every single time. The racing line is still one of the quickest lines around this track. However, any chances he'll get to try and get on the wet patch here, look, you'll see it here, just edges onto it slightly there. Obviously doesn't want to try and weed too much, but if he can find any patch of wet on the straights, he will try his best to go and hit it. But as I say that, he does not. Thank you. But he'll probably do it down here in Sector 3, unless he hits me and doesn't do it there. But, yeah. My whole point is, though, if you are going to start cooling your tyres now, obviously it means they are starting to overheat just that little bit. And look, yeah, our Henson here moving a little bit to them, as Wizard also doing the same. Rose deciding not to, probably keeping his tyres a bit more in check here, I don't know, but it doesn't matter, he's still gaining lots of time. However, yeah, if you are moving towards more wet parts of the track, this tells me your tyres are overheating just that little bit more. So might be starting to dry out just a little bit quicker, or at least on the racing line here. Is look, you can basically see, like, you can see the whole track pretty much, and all the rubber that's been on the track there. Obviously, once again, it is still winters. There's no denying that one. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be into dries soon enough. Probably be a man midway through the race here by the end of things. Rose continues to catch Wisburn right now. And Rose up 13 spots already. And that stop, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now. What am I going to do actually want to think, though? What is the tyre wear of everybody here? I have no idea how bad the tyre wear is, actually, in the intermediate weather. However, considering how little they wear out in wet conditions, I believe, on this game, I'm only going to say these are around 35%, I'm going to say. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to say about 35%. Because I don't believe they'll go for the whole race. I mean, if they do that, it's kind of crazy, actually. However, if I say about that much for the race, then I'm going to say that is about right. Anyway, though, our Henson is a bit more under pressure here than Wisburn. He's only a few tenths back now, as I think Wisburn had a really nice first sector there, hooking up pretty well, and he's looking to have a pretty good second sector here, trying not to lose too much time. Really gets a little bit of a wobble, but it looks to be slightly better than our Henson here. However, Henson looks up and covered here. Rose also, he's not making as much time there to Wisburn, but he's only making a bit more time to Henson out in front. Anyway, though, looks like both of these guys are doing pretty decent so far. Microwave here past Aiden. I think there's actually a straight overtake. But, oh my goodness me, Aiden trying his best to get back past his microwave was a little deep. Let's see now. I'm actually going to watch this fight for a second here. The takeaway from the front. Anyway, though, Aiden's going to try his best to go maybe on the inside here. This will be very brave. Microwave, though, definitely thought, oh, he's going to go a bit of lawn mowing there. However, he definitely thought that was not going to happen. He definitely chopped off a little bit. Oh, a little bit of lag there, no, but look at that, Aiden doesn't really got anywhere to go here. He's basically pushing Microwave through this whole section of corners here. Microwave actually losing a lot of time to Mucho Capo out in front. So Aiden is just trying to find any sort of way past him here. Obviously, with the issues that he had, I believe it was at exit of Beckett's on this track. Yeah, it's pretty clear to see. However, though, the rain you can see now is getting lighter. The amount of puddles on the track is getting slightly less. And Rose now, and Wisburn, and Henson are in a top 3 fight here. I think it will probably dry up. I mean, I said by lap 13, but I did not think it would actually dry up this much for now. You can clearly see, though, that it's starting to get a lot lighter in the sky as well here. It was a bit dark when we were initially in this race now, but look at it here. We are going a little bit further in here. Is Aiden into the pits? I don't think this is tyre wear related. I mean, I said they wouldn't wear out this much. So let's see. Will he be a guinea pig for the whole field here and go on a set of, like, soft tyres or something? I hope he's not. I really hope he's not. Let's have a look. He's going to go on a set of hard tyres, I believe that is. Let's have a look. It is. Oh, my goodness me. I think it's a bit too early here. Just going to say it right now. It's a bit too early. No DRS been enabled yet, obviously. Oh, and that's Wisburn a bit wide. Let's see if Rose is able to capitalise. Let's have a look. Wisburn definitely had a bit of a mistake there. Rose needs to try and capitalise now if he wants to get through. He can't. There's just no way really to find a way past up until Stowe, I want to say, at the minimum for this first sector. Let's have a look now. Wisburn looking pretty decent. Gets a little bit of a wiggle spin. Looks like Rose also had the same though there. Definitely had a bit of a slide on entry. And it looks like Rose is going to try and hunt Wisburn down here in towards Beckett's. Let's have a look now. He'll turn the battery. Wisburn does as well. Henson does as well. So he wants to make sure nothing is under threat for him at the minute. If they just hold this bit for now, I think Henson would just be the happiest man ever. They can just hold it like this to the end of the race. He would not care. Let's see though anyway, as he's still pulling decent laps at the minute, Henson. Obviously, when we look at the fast laps here, yeah, Wisburn looking like the quicker of the two out in front, but Rose the quickest of the three overall. And also Bluebird here, not showing some bad pace at the minute. 40.7 compared to 40.4 for Rose. And that might be a move here for Rose. No, nothing yet. It's probably trying to set up a move now, going towards the hanger straight. Let's have a look now. And we're going to see what Wisburn does in response to Rose clawing back a bit more time here. Not looking like much. Aiden retires for the session, though. That is a full course safety car. Right. This is an awkward time to do it. What are people going to do? I would believe you could put another set of inters on here. You could gain a lot of time if you do that. I believe that should be the case for most people. I don't believe dries here will be the play. But look how wet the track is. I would believe it's not the play. Oh, Henson drive-through penalty, speedy on the safety car. He has ruined that chance, hasn't he, there? So he has to suffer that drive-through at some point. So what he might do, he might have to switch to dries and have to quickly serve a drive-through while everyone else pits. Really bad there from Henson. Just didn't slow down in time. Definitely quite excited. He probably led the race there, I believe. But yeah, Rose into the pits here. What is his tyre going to be? He goes on to another set, I believe, of intermediates. Anyway, Henson onto a set of mediums. I think he's just going to follow what I said. Yeah, definitely going to try and just see what he can do on the set of medium tyres. Start the drive through race up, and hopefully by that point it is dried up for him. Anyway, though, that is pretty much ruined his race at the minute. Skills and goes on the fresh air intermediates. Cole Pillow risks it for the hard tyres. Who else is going to risk it for the hard tyres? Who else is going to risk it for any dry tyres here, to be honest? Because usually in this game, it's quite hard to tell when it actually is dry. So let's see. Bluebird in the pits for a set of hards. Really interesting stuff here. I don't know who's played it right. I personally would say right now, it could still be new intermediates for a few laps. I think you can gain enough there from the people who are on dries, but we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, anyway though, looking pretty rough for some people here. Most people choosing hards. Interestingly enough though, Microwave stays out on his tyres. Blackman picks a fresh set of intermediates. Budget Bruce hits a penalty as Moose Capo is getting held there for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Well, there we go. Oh, he probably had a penalty actually to serve. Anyway, though, I think most people are very kind of split on opinion. Yeah, kind of split on opinion here. Some people stayed out on their intermediates. Some people have gone to the hard tyres. Hensel set of mediums actually is kind of interesting, but he decides to go and do it. And once he has served that drive-through still, however, he cannot serve it under a safety car. That is the thing he's got to remember. He can't afford another pit stop on top of what he's done. So hopefully he's able to remember that one. But I think the opinion for most here is that it is probably going to be into the first few laps maybe under the safety car, but then it'll be dries. Let's see what Whisper does here. Is he coming to the pit lane? He's thinking about it. He definitely saw a little jink there, trying to see what he'd do. But Henson, those can't serve it under those can't serve his drive under the safety car. He will continue on these medium tyres. They'll probably be stone cold, but by the time the rest of these guys on the head box, he might at least have just a few bits to do here. Going on those medium tyres, he try his best to get any higher up in the field, but that is really unfortunate actually for Henson. Did pretty much most things right this whole race, and right now he's only pretty fuming with himself. Now on a drive-through penalty. Anyway, though, interestingly enough, Skills Dan comes to the pits here. Cole Pillow up into 4th place. This actually turned out to be a great day for Ferrari, who are currently last in constructors, by the way. They're on 29 points, and right now, this result could shoot up to 7th here. I mean, it's pretty damn close, but this sort of result could be crazy stuff for them. Microwave into the pit stop as well, so he'll come onto a set of dry tyres here. I think the guys ahead might have actually made a mistake here, and of all people, it could be Cole Pillow leading, which is ridiculous considering he started in, when he started P11. This could be ridiculous. We're going to have to wait and see. Bluebird could be right back in this race as well, actually, now that I think about it. On the hard tyres, obviously, so he's now 3rd. Hazard, too, could back into this race. He's on a set of dry tyres. However, with all these people looking at this right now, it's pretty bad. So, Microwave there just gets ahead of Kodoy. It's pretty bad seeing the amount of gaps here. Not sure why so many people, though, are actually this far back. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like everyone else is confused with their stops at the minute. Look at that, 3 stops, some people, already. But, yeah, look at that. I think most people are just very terrified of this safety car. It's going to give Wisburn or Henson, Wisburn and Rose, realistically, the 2 drivers here. It's going to give them the chances to box again, if they can. There is still wet parts on this track, and I would probably still say it's intermediates at the minute. I think the track will still be incredibly slippery, and I think they might actually continue to go on these wet tyres. However, Wisburn doesn't. He's going to come into the pits. Will he go for a set of fresh intermediates to try and maybe see if he can get anything more out of the tyre before it gets to dry? Or will he go for a set of dry tyres, which most people are probably doing here? I think Skills down and Bluebird will overtake him here, however. Let's see it, as Wisburn is going to come into the pits. What is he going to choose? As I think actually might be the last time the safety car could be out on this lap. I think we had it out on lap 12. As it's only been out for 3 laps, I think people need to really get a hurry up here if they want to get up to the safety car line in time here. I don't know, everyone's taking it very slowly. Obviously some people here on the hard tyres really might be struggling actually just in general for pace, which makes sense. Let's look at Hazard here. Look, having to go in 5th gear around the final corner, that is pretty bad for a set of hards. And look, he's 12 seconds back, and he's just trying his best to get through. But look, you can see how much he's come up understeering at the minute. But right now, this seems like Henson in the lead. Rose up in P2, Cold Pillar in P3 at the minute. But he'll be leading, I believe. And he'll be leading by a bit of a margin here if Skills Sound and Bluebird don't catch up. I don't think that the safety car will stay out for another lap. I don't believe it will. I think everyone else at the minute has got to keep going, and they've just got to go to the end of this race now, no matter where they are. I think they have to just go. I don't know what's going on, but they're going to have to do it at some point. I think I'll head to Camp into the pits, though, immediately on the restart. I don't know if Rose will do the same, but yeah, there's still a bit wet out there. There's still spray coming off the intermediate tyres here. You can still see a little bit of spray. B French into the pits again. for a set of intermediates now, so he's really stuck on what the conditions are. But he's going to be so far back. I think the second car's going to be in this lap. Well, as soon as we cross sector 3, we'll have a look. Let's see what is going to happen. I want to say it's in this lap. I don't think it can be out for this long. Let's see. No. Yeah, safety car in this lap. Here we go. This is going to be racing. Wizrun only managed to just catch up. Hazard is also kind of there, but he's catching a bit more as well. This is what I was saying. I don't know why people were leaving it so late with their pit stops and having to make sure they had to double guess. They had to do it ASAP, and they had to catch up. But now look at it. So many people are just disjointed from the field. I don't know what's going on. But they've left it too late. That's all I can really say. All I had to need to make sure he doesn't do now is actually drop it and speed under the safety car. He just needs to keep it calm into the pit lane. That's all he needs to do. Or will he just hurry up there on one lap of the medium tyres? Let's see how he does. But look at that though. Rose immediately trying to pounce at him on the intermediate tyres. Will he try to move here into the first turn? No, but you can clearly see the understeer here for the medium tyres. Rose going to sail past into the lead, but the track will get drier. This is the thing. He may be leading for the minute, but everybody else behind him will probably have the advantage once things play out properly. Obviously, these guys in a minute are going to be really struggling with these tyres. You'll be able to see it from our Hence's point of view. DRS technically is actually still not open yet, but that's what I was thinking here. I mean, DRS still not open, but the track is really going to get drier. I'm really surprised why people didn't box a new set of intermediates and actually stuck with it. I mean, I did see some people obviously try and think about it and then go back. But yeah, I really would have thought the people to actually take the gamble here is, look at this, we're basically going F2. This is F2 sort of speed here for most people here, as Bluebird did get past Skills and he is up, it's P4. And right now, that is actually net P2, as Cold Pillow probably is leading here. I mean, Rose's pulling out seconds at the minute, but I don't think this track will keep at this pace for much longer for him. I mean, right now, it is still 6.5 seconds, I want to say, probably by the end of this. Look, our Henson just has no grip. Same with everybody else down here. Look, he's trying his best to keep on the circuit here, for God's sake, and it's just not working for him. But realistically, though, he had to pit on a set of dry tyres. If he went onto those intermediates, served the drive-through, then to pit again, he would lose so much time. He'd lose near on 40-50 seconds. I think the best thing for him to do is just keep on these dries, fight it for as long as he can, and then just see what happens here. Because at the minute, actually, never mind, hold on a minute, Rose is flying. I think that's the only thing I'm going to say at the minute. Rose is flying. He set the fastest lap in the race. 1 minute 39.6. Our Henson on the grass there as well. Everyone is just struggling behind. Our Henson's going to try to serve the drive-through now. Take the least amount of pain possible on this lap. Try his best to warm the tyres as well. Somehow it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the minute. I don't know what is going on. But Cold Pillow, well, at the minute was a leader, but he is off the track at the minute. Bluebird trying his best to get back on and get back into the lead of this race, at least a net lead. But Rose right now has played the ultimate strategy. And this is what I'd have thought as well. He's 1.3 seconds up on his own time at the minute through the first sector. Henson is dropping down so much places. But Microwave and Kodai was fighting in a minute. Our Henson needs to make sure he gets out ahead of this fight in a minute. Let's have a look. He comes out and it looks like to be well ahead of this fight. Maybe, maybe not. Let's have a look. Our Henson only just gets ahead of those two. But this is what I actually need to point out here. Still in the DRS enabled. Rose's pulling seconds on seconds a lap to everybody here. And I don't know what's going on actually. Why is there still yellow flag 6-3? No one has stopped. Yeah, not sure what's happening there. But right now, Rose's a pit stop away to Hazard. I think you can definitely tell it's getting a lot drier though. But yeah, Hazard's still struggling to get any sort of temps in his tyres at the minute. And I think right now it is still in the intermediate period, but it will not be for long now. I think Rose will have one more lap of enjoyment on these intermediate tyres and he will decide to then come in. Because look, 22.5 seconds, this is crazy stuff. Like, I don't know what he's doing out there, but look, 2.5 seconds clear. 37.0. Keep that time in mind here. 37.0, okay? That is a lap that he had just set on fresh intermediates. These guys on fresh hard tyres. Let's see, Cold Pillow, what is he going to do here? I think Bluebird actually made a little bit of a mistake there while we were looking at him. Right, already past 37.0. We're well past the 37.0 threshold. Let's have a look now. Across the line, what's it going to be? 45.7. They're on average about 8 seconds slower at the minute. This is crazy stuff. Rose actually could take the lead on his intermediate tyres if he just follows what's going on here. Like, the only person who I would have suggested to take that gamble, Art Henson. It made sense. He had the drive-through. There was no point in going to a set of intermediates, pitting for the drive-through and then pitting again. DRS zone now is enabled. Rose's lap is going to be pretty much over in a minute, where the tyres now, he will be probably faster about 1 or 2 more sectors, and the DRS then will start kicking in for some people. It's immediately kicked in for Wisburn there. He is right past Skills Dan and up into P4 at the minute. It could be P3 by the end of this race. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's see where Rose is a minute. He's still 25 seconds clear. He's still going quicker in a minute. But you can see at the top there now, Cold Pillow, 8 tenths quicker than his previous one this lap. And we're going to see now Bluebird possibly trying to make a move here. But Rose, 25 seconds back. Just how much time will he be ahead? Will he be behind? Will he even be alongside these two as they go out into the end of this lap? Let's see. Or will he try and do another lap? No, he will not. He will come into the pits now. Will he slow down enough? Only just. Let's see now. Rose putting a set of mediums, a set of softs. I've won the 2. Let's see where he comes out. Obviously, these guys now going to go through into the last few corners now. Has Rose played this to perfection? Let's see it. He's going to come in for a set of soft tyres. He will be on the grippiest tyres no matter what. Cold Pillow is not through yet. Cold Pillow is still not through. Rose is making his way towards the end of the pit lane now. Cold Pillow will set the fast lap of the race, surely. No, he will not. Wisburn will actually behind. But look at this. They're going to come through turn 1, 2 and 3. Will Rose get ahead? I don't think he will. Cold Pillow comes out into the lead of the race. Rose, where's he going to filter out here? Alongside Wisburn. How close will this be? Will Wisburn try and fight it? It doesn't look like he's going to at the minute. However, Rose now, fresh set of tyres, soft tyres. Compared to these guys on these old mediums, we are going to see a very fast Ferrari in a second. As Bluebird gets all crossed up there, fighting Cold Pillow. Let's see now what he's going to do coming round these next few corners here. Rose will be on the attack now, and you will know that up until the next DRS straight, which will be right here towards Cops. But this is the first time he's really encountered dirty air for most of this race. At least on the dry tyres. Let's see now. Anyway, though, Bluebird looks to be all okay for the moment. Looks like he's just able to keep it in check. I think he needs to get past Cold Pillow now, though. Cold Pillow is basically the bottleneck for the rest of these guys, but he's still in the lead in a minute. He's still going to need to fight for everything he has to. Obviously, he's got to Cold Pillow. He's in the lead of the race. Why would he not want to fight for the race win? As also Bluebird actually goes a little bit more wide there. Look at that run. Rose on the inside. He's going to switch to the outside now. He'll be on the outside for this corner. There's a little bit of contact there. It's back to a Ferrari 1-2 as Bluebird drops a P3. Unfortunate for him, but he is now having to chase back up to Cold Pillow, and Rose will do the same here. Bluebird's a little bit wide. Everybody's a little bit wide there through the first couple of turns. This is amazing stuff. Has on the back of Skills Dan as well. Skills Dan may have dropped off, but there's still fights going on there. Hazard and our heads for P6 and P7 right now. Looks like though Rose, he's going to make the move here. Cold Pillow, try as he might, he can't do anything. Rose up into the lead of this race, and now all he has to do is just bridge out that gap and make sure he doesn't make any mistakes now. And, well, he's pretty much got the win here, let's say it. He has pretty much got the win. However, it's not over yet. Will he try and keep Cold Pillow in a DRS for his own sake here? If he wants that bit of a buffer behind, I mean, surely he wants to try and keep his teammate there too. His teammate will probably want that P2 just as much as him. Will Rose just manage, maintain the gap, see what he does here as he's in that Ferrari? Not sure what's going to happen here, because obviously he does not want to leave his teammate for dead out there. But look, I think he's already pulling away quite a bit here now. Skills down penalty there too, but Rose is just pulling time on time at the minute. I would personally say at the minute, if I was Rose, just for that reassurance, I would keep Cold Pillow out DRS. You do not want people behind, like Blueburn and Wisburn, suddenly catching you out once your tyres are low on grip, and they suddenly start going quicker than you. Anyway, though, the dry laps are just getting more and more quicker as Rosa comes by with 29.5. That is nigh on dry pace now. And I think he actually is half trying to slow up here in a minute. I mean, he's trying to keep just within that second barrier. Let's see it as he goes through here, harvesting his battery. No lift off, though. Looks like Cold Pillow is having to fend for his own out there, and he's not got a great exit at the minute. Let's see Bluebird now turn on the ERS. Is Cold Pillow doing the same? He's only not really doing it a little bit. He's only probably on medium now, I want to say. Hazard, though, doing his best on pass skills, Dan. I didn't even catch it. He's already passed there. Hazard up into P5 after the strategy blunder at the start and also being left a bit behind at the safety car. He's still managed a P5 in this race, and it could be more still. You never know what's going to happen out in front in a minute, but Hazard is up into P5. Will Bluebird try and make his way up into P2 now, try and break that Ferrari deadlock of the 1-2. Cold Pillow knows it. He's gone a little bit defensive there, but he's gone a tiny bit wide there. Wisman also lurking in the back, trying to see if he can find any sort of move past these guys. But right now, nothing is on offer. There's no DRS down here, obviously. That got replaced by the run from Cops down to Luffield. Let's see now, as Bluebird is pretty damn close now to the back of Cold Pillow. Rose's not gaining as much time, actually, as I thought he would at the minute. It's 2 seconds, sure. However, these are some older hard tyres. These are some fresh soft tyres. He's still pulling time, sure. Just got to watch it though. It's the end of this race. Just got to watch it. I mean, 30.8 though. I think, yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard for these guys to actually catch him. However, he's got to make sure about it though. He's still got to make sure that his tyres are in check. It's not over for Rose, but it's pretty much 90% over. Let's be honest here. I think he actually also got DRS here off the lap car of Budget Bruce. He will go by and he is done. However, look at this one now. Bluebird didn't get the exit he wanted here. He's going to try and use his battery. He's not getting past Cold Pillow here at the minute, but he's got to. You'd think so with the pace that he had. He got pole. I mean, at the very least, he would have P2 without Rose's qualification. And he's looked pretty damn solid in the race, so what can I really say? I think definitely the second best driver out there in the wet as well. We did see some of his fastest lap times. Hence, I think was probably one of the best drivers in general there. But in terms of pace, Bluebird had it locked down, and he's going to try and lock down here P2, break the Ferrari deadlock out in front. Will he try and dance it round the outside? Cold Pillow doing his best there on the inside, just manages to keep it there. Bluebird on the inside though, trying the best to at least hustle with Harry, and looks like Cold Pillow and Bluebird there having a bit of a mistake there too. Bluebird maybe trying to think of a move on the inside. He's trying to scare him a little bit there, but I don't think it's going to happen there. No one will try and make a move there, I hope. At least in the dry here, we're going flat out. If you're on the wet tyres, it could work. If you're on the dry zone, this is a complete mess if you're going to do that. Anyway, though, Rose is just beginning to stretch out that advantage here. Fast after the race as well, with a 28.7, I believe that was. Cold Pillow only getting slower at a minute. 31.1 as he defends there from Bluebird, obviously, doing his best to hold on to that P2 finish. Or at the very least for him, he would happily take a podium right now. Hazard also makes sure he holds the skills down. Bar Henson here, the drive-throughs are in his race. That's the only thing I can really say there. He would have been right up there with the top guys, at least with Cold Pillow Bluebird. However, though, Bluebird, we're going to see him now right next to Cold Pillow now. We're going to see him on the outside. Cold Pillow goes to the inside. We're going to watch Bluebird now. Will he get the better run down towards Cops, or will he just try to save his battery here for the next straight? Let's have a look now. Wisburn still lurking behind him, just trying to find any more bits of ERS he can use. Let's see it. Bluebird maybe affected by the dirty air a little bit, but it's not affecting his commitment. Let's see it now. Will he go for a move? He's not using much battery. Will he try and have Cold Pillow defend though? Makes it very awkward for Cold Pillow there. Tries to make a move. Let's see it now as he's having a little bit of a crossed up moment there with the rear tyres. Wisper might try and think about something now. However, Cold Pillow still really holding his own here. I'm really impressed actually by Cold Pillow's driving. Both are on varying levels of battery here. Wisburn on by far the most, and that's Bluebird with a mistake. He's had a bit of moment on the grass. There's contact there between Wisburn and Bluebird. Just contact with the rear tyre. I think that's really unfortunate for both of them. But it looks like Bluebird and Wisburn, where are they going to come out here? Bluebird looking like he's just come out ahead, but I think he's given up the place there to Wisburn. Hazard now, right on the back. He's going to try and go for a move here maybe into turn one. Let's have a look now. On the inside, there's contact. Hazard spins round, and that might be really big rear wing damage there. Bluebird cutting across. I don't know how that will be preferred there, but that would be very, very controversial for him and the Haas team there. I don't know what's going on, but that boy needs to definitely have some words there between the pair of them. There was contact between Wisburn and Bluebird, and maybe just in the moment there, Bluebird, I think he's chopped off a little bit too early there. I'm not too sure, but obviously people have different views of it there. Hazard might be having some severe damage here. I don't know if he actually has, but how his car's in one piece at the minute, I don't know. obviously the rear structure on this game is very strong, but I think that might be some very strong words between Hazard and Bluebird there. I don't know who's exactly at fault. I would want to say, at least from what I saw there, Bluebird did come off quite well. Hazard maybe trying to go for a really audacious move into turn one. Bluebird was ahead, so it was pretty close. We're going to have to just wait and see here now. But with only a few laps left in this race, Rose looks to be the clear winner of this one, as long as he doesn't do any mistake. Cold Pillow looks like he's got that just enough of a gap to him, and Wisburn, really. As Bluebird, I mean, after that mistake, especially hitting to Wisburn, and then also contact into Hazard there. Obviously, Hazard will be really bloody annoyed about that one. He loses the position to Skills Dan right now, and he's only got a 3-second penalty, so he needs to catch up if he wants to try and get that P5 back. But Skills Dan will probably be laughing at the minute. He did not really have the pace to go and keep going with the strategy he's on, but he's still doing decent now. Hence because of penalty as well, but that won't really matter too much. He's still in P7 regardless at the minute. However, Bluebird, he's still gaining, at least for his sake, on the Williams out in front. Will he try and get Wisfern here on the last few laps? Because if he does, and he gets a podium, there will be very strong words between him and the Haas team. So obviously Bluebird wants his podium, but I think it might just be worse if he gets it. You never know by the end of it. It could just hurt just that bit more if Bluebird gets a podium, and it could be taken away from him. I don't know yet. However, Wisburn still ahead for the minute. Bluebird still doing his best. I think the mediums here definitely fell off. 10 laps on mediums. They are going to be crying out in pain now, as we're going to see Bluebird trying his best here. Wisburn with a bit lock up. That was a mistake Bluebird did, but he was on the grass. He was well wide into that corner. Definitely needs some words there, though, as he's trying his best to get back into it, though, as we head now to the final lap. Rose already steaming through. Cold Pillow, I don't know how he's got here, but we are going to actually have a Ferrari 1-2. They have been... They're actually going to take max points. Now I look at it, they have been... Oh, no, they're not going to take max points. Actually, ignore me. Bluebird will take 1 point for competition. But other than that, Ferrari are about to score... I cannot believe I'm saying this. They are about to score 48 points out of the 49 available in the race week. That is ridiculous. Actually ridiculous for the Ferrari team. And they are last in constructors, mind you. It is bonkers. However, I think there's still some great days in the office for some people. Wisburn there, currently in the minute in P3. Still doing great for the Haas team, even if he falls to P4. McLaren still looking pretty nice in constructors here, a P5 for Skills Dan. Microwave still a P12. Let's see if there's any moves here, though. I think Bluebird's ran out of ERS here at the wrong time. Let's see, though. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Anyway, though, Hazard Heads also have a pretty nice job there. Even with that contact sending Hazard out P5, I think he'd still be pretty damn happy with what he's achieved today. But we're going to see B French, not B French get a penalty. We're going to see Rose around the final few corners here. I don't think he's going to move anywhere there. And we're going to see Rose now round the final corner here. He is going to go flat out here. And it is going to be the win at Silverstone Reverse for Rose. An incredible drive at the end of things. Cold Pillow, just incredible. He leads home a Ferrari 1-2, one of the first podiums he's had in a long while. Wisburn decides to hold off Bluebird in the end of things. He takes P3 ahead of Bluebird in P4. That could be very provisional, though. Skills Dan takes on P5. That could be P4 by the end of things. Hazard as well. Could also be ahead by the end of things. We do not know. But a brilliant P6 and P7 for Haas. At least all things considered. I mean, obviously they're much better qualifying than that. But with the mistakes they had a bit today, I think they've done all right in the end of things. Pablos in P8. Mucho Capo Lisa had a small train here. A P9 him. P10 Kodoi. P11 Blackbone. Oh, actually P9 Blackbone instead, because they had all the penalties. P12 Microwave. And Josh looks like he'll be the last one to finish on the lead lap. B French pick up the last point there. A lap down. And Budget Bruce, unfortunately, will not pick up a point in the end of things. But Josh will pick up P13 in the end, and that is it. Anyway, there'll be some very strong words. That's all I'm going to say. There is, very, very strong words, I think, at the end of things. However, though, Rose, I don't know how, has led home a Ferrari 1-2. Cold Pillow has just... I don't know how Cold Pillow's managed to sneak up at the end of things. don't know how. Lovely race. Oh, and we have a retired Mercedes that we just saw there. Not too sure why, but yeah, really well done actually to all the Ferrari guys there. Crazy stuff. 48 out of 49 points overall. And we're just going to run through it. Look at this. Rose wins everything, apparently. I don't know about this. I mean, cleanest driver, maybe, yeah. Driver Day would be to Cole Pillow for me. But anyway, we're going to run through the grid here. Rose from last wins the race with fast up as well. Just Cole Pillow, P2, running off for Ferrari 1-2. Crazy stuff. Wizard in P3, holding off against Bluebird for P4. Skills down in P5, Hazard P6, Hence P7 as well. Pablos, actually, with a nice recovery drive there as well. P17 to P8. Blackman P9, Mucha Kappa running at top 10. Codaway P11, Microwave P12, Josh P13, B French P14, Budget Bruce P15, and our non-finishers of Aiden and Exotic Swords in the end of it. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, absolute crazy thing on the screen that we actually see there with like all the rose things there. I never normally see them. They are ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what to say. But wow. Wow. That was some damn race. And that was only one of the races that we've got here. We're going to try and have a quick look at who is where on the standings right now. I want to make sure we get this all correct. I believe that's everyone we need to know. Actually, no, that would be... Oh, God, who's in Red Bull? Bluebird. Let's have a just double check on this one anyway. Right. Let's see now. Rosie obviously scored 26 points with the fast lap there. Obviously did not get pole in the end with the disqualification. But we're going to refresh driver standings for you. Wisburn now is the leader of the championship. Rosie up to P2 as well. Rhea Harris falls to third after that race, not being there. Henson up to fifth ahead of skills. Dan. Rashik Mills stays put behind Rhea Harris in P4 now, other than P2. And now we're going to refresh the constructors. Who is going to be in top? Haas are back in top. 101 points to Williams on 96. McLaren on 94. Alpine on 89. Obviously about the race there. Ferrari jump up 4 places from 29 to 77 points. Crazy stuff from them. And yeah, Red Bull now are the last team of constructors here. But we know now, at the halfway point of the season, anything could change. And that was an amazing race to commentate. I'm Miss Cookie. This has been Season 12, Round 5 here around the reverse track of Silverstone. And I will see you next week for a bit of straight line speed racing, round Monza. Sauber, actually, by the way, there. Blackbone is... Sauber are P8. They still stay the same where they are. They're only 4 points away from bottom, though, so you've got to be very careful about that one. Anyway, though, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you all actually liked it in the end. I definitely damn enjoyed that one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.